To the Collingwood Football Club, who of course got over West Coast yesterday by 20 points, although a goal after the siren. It was a really tight final quarter. Wellingham, very nice game of football. Swan and Pendlebury, unbelievable numbers as always. And you can see the West Coast boys on the other side of all of that. Supercoach points look like they do. And Steele Sidebottom's been good enough to join us on the Sunday Footy Show. And Steele, welcome and congratulations through to another prelim, but I reckon there would have been a few nervous boys in Collingwood colours about halfway through that last quarter.
Yeah, she got pretty tight towards the end of the game, but I think it was we sort of stood up towards the end and kicked a couple of goals late, which it was a good finish.
Well, it was a double credit, was it? I thought it was a credit to West Coast to come back when it looked like you had them, and then credit for your boys to really settle, and Luke Ball's goal was fantastic. Yeah,
Ball was great all day, I think, and probably just finished off a good day for him. He's always in and under, and for him to kick the goal was great. Yeah.
How did you deal as a club with the loss to Geelong? It was a massive loss, the biggest you've had in some time, but after the game Mick Moldhouse didn't seem too concerned, and most people thought it was just the last round of the year with nothing on it. How did you deal with it internally?
I suppose we got over it pretty quick. We tried to just move on straight away, but I think we looked at it more of a season's point of view, not just that last game. So if we look at it, we won 20 and lost 2, so we sort of looked at it that way, and I suppose it was a pretty good season in the end.
They really came to play yesterday, the Eagles, didn't they? In that first quarter, they out-tackled you 28-19, and their run and carry really caused some problems in that first quarter in particular. Obviously, their clearances were outstanding, but I mean, you got going in that second quarter when you had to, but they're full credit to them. They were very, very good. Yeah,
they were great. I think their pressure was good and probably forced us to overuse the footy a little bit early, and that's probably when they got on top. And I suppose we do want to kick the ball and not get sucked into handballing around. So yeah, their pressure was great.
I want to ask you about that, Brownie. They dominated, I thought, the first quarter, the West Coast Eagles, but they were only able to put 2 goals on the board. And it wasn't inaccurate kicking. Collingwood's backline really stood up.
Collingwood was fantastic in their backline. Tarrant in particular, Maxwell was back there, and Harry O'Brien was really good as well. West Coast pressure forced Collingwood. You're normally a kicking side, aren't you? Forced you to have 50 kicks in the first quarter, 61 handballs. Very un-Collingwood-like to overuse the ball like that.
Yeah, exactly. And just like I said, before, their pressure was great, and obviously forced us to handball it. Yeah.
Still, just with your structures, everyone talks about structures. Collingwood's going to go around the boundary. Everyone knows what you're going to do, but none of us can stop the way that you play. How do you do it, for one? And if you could tell us, that'd be great.
I won't say much, but obviously, like most clubs, we've all got a structure, and I think we just stick to that, and it holds us in good stead, I suppose.
Clearances in the first quarter, West Coast dominated, right? But after quarter time, Darren Jolly didn't have a lot of the ball, but his clearance work and his tap work to you guys at ground level was outstanding. I think the clearances ended up 51-31, and that was a major part of why he won the game.
Yeah, I think obviously Giles was going to be up against it, all day against them 2 ruckmen, and it was probably for us just to go man on man in there because Nat Nui and Cox are obviously pretty strong. So Daz did well all day, I think, and the Swanee and Pendles in there, and even Ball, to get their hands on the footy first were great.
After the game, what do you talk about the win? A lot of people, media people, supporters, talking maybe Collingwood aren't as good as everyone thought at the moment. Maybe Geelong's a premiership favourite. But when you keep a side like West Coast to their second lowest score a year, 62 points in a final, you've got to be happy with that. Even though you didn't kick a massive score yourself, your game's built on defence, and that's what won you the game yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, Mick's, it was all about defence. So, it's not about what we kick, it's what we keep them down to. And I think, lower their score, obviously, just probably shows how we've played. So, to keep them down that low is awesome.
That guy that just handballed that ball off, Dane Boom, since he came back in, he has had a fantastic 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, he's had it on a string, I think. I think he had the 6 weeks off, and it was good that Mick showed the faith to put him straight back in, and he hasn't let him down. I
want to talk to you about the 2 guys that came back in. Your skipper Nick Maxwell was outstanding, and also Heath Shaw running off half-back line. Didn't look like he missed a beat in the 8 weeks he'd been out.
Yeah, well, Heath was great yesterday. Obviously, had 30 possessions, and he's obviously been worked over pretty hard since he's got that suspension, and he was great yesterday. And it's always good to get your skipper back. He leads by example out there, and it's just, I suppose it picks everyone up just to have them boys out there.
Leon Davis's kicking out of the back line is it is phenomenal. He is really a good spot-up kicker, a user of the footy.
It is. If you see the ball in Madge's hands and, you know, you've got a little bit of space, you know, he's always there to hit you up and, you know, he doesn't miss too many targets.
A chance here, Brownie?
Yeah, they were. They are coming really hard, the West Coast Eagles. They played pretty much the way they did in the first quarter. Their run and carry and their overlap really hurt Collingwood, as you see here. You don't see too many clubs running and carrying with freedom like that against Collingwood. They did it for 2 quarters of the day. The rest of the game, I think Collingwood dominated. And West Coast, I mean, a lot of people are saying that Collingwood were lucky to get out of it, but West Coast were a very, very good side. They came to play. They finished top 4, and they're going to go a long way. They need Cox back to play next week. They need Kerr. I want to ask you personally, going to Collingwood a few years ago, you must be pinching yourself that where you've landed. How good your side's going. I think you kicked 10 goals in the TAC Cup Grand Final. You're going to a side that has been unbeatable for the last 2 years, and it must be just a great feeling to be part of.
Yeah, it is. It's you know, I don't think I could have, you know, ended up at a better place. And I think, you know, when I first got there, it was probably hard. You know, you want to be playing straight away, and, you know, I suppose I had to do my time in the VFL and slowly got in there, and yeah, just happy to hold my spot now.
Just before you go to the votes, Brownie, we saw the picture in the paper with you and your mates, your brothers, sorry.
Family.
Yeah, family.
Yeah, well, the Selwoods can do it. Your mates. Can any of your brothers seriously play? Have they missed a chance at league footy?
Tice on the far right. Yeah, he goes all right.
Which one's he?
He's on the far right. Yeah, plays for Shep United. He's captain down there, and yeah, they won yesterday, so they go into a prelim as well, I think.
But are any sort of league standard?
I think, Tice is not bad. I think he's
how old's
probably
he?
a bit past it now. He's 28.
He might be a little bit.
Very talented family.
J-Pod was 29 and got drafted.
Yes.
Votes, Nate?
The votes, the Pies, they dominated, obviously. I couldn't fit any West Coast players in. Swan and Pendlebury, 81 between them. Davis off the half-back line. Harry O'Brien did a fantastic job.
Just got over the
on
line,
Mark
Brownie.
Lacroix. The last question I want to ask you was, Alec Fasolo, only played 5 minutes. Do you go into a game knowing that if there's an injury, that player comes on, but was he always going to spend that long on the bench?
I'm not sure how they sort of plan it out, but I think if we're playing well and we don't get an injury, well, there's no need to change it. But yeah, I suppose he come on for that last 5 minutes and kicked the goal at the end, so yeah, it worked, I think.
Well done and good luck. You got a nice little break and you've earned it as the best team of the year. So have a good week off and then a prelim for the Maggies.
Thanks, Jim.
Steele Sidebottom, one of the real stars of a very, very good side.